Hey, what's cracking, everybody? Today's video, I want to talk about the Calamares installer because I've been getting a lot of comments telling me why I don't use the Calamares installer. So this video is basically just letting everyone know that there is a reason why I don't use the Calamares installer. So I'll be talking about that in this video. So right here, I got the Calamares installer booted up. So select the United States. That's cool. Let's see, is there more buttons on here? I think there are, but they're hidden. Or, better yet, let me just change the screen resolution. Keep this configuration. All right, hopefully that'll make everything work better now. All right, so got United States selected, include input mirrors. Click on OK. So I think this is a reflector, what it's using to get all the mirrors and everything in order. So, all right, then the Calamares installer should open up. Save to, I'll save it. I think the Calamares installer will open up now, but if not, there is a button for it right here, so let me just click on it. So anyways, back to the question. A lot of people have been asking me why I don't use the Calamares installer, and it's not, I don't have anything against the Calamares installer. I actually like the Calamares installer. Simple to use, it's easy, it pretty much takes all the hard work out of everything for you. But the way I have LinuxHub Prime set up, all right, so the way I have LinuxHub Prime set up is that it would make it kind of difficult for me to set up the builder with Calamares. It's because Calamares is not part of the standard Arch Linux repository packages. Which is not a problem. I mean, it could easily be installed. I know how to set it up to where I can install it, even if it's from the AUR and all that. That's not the issue in itself. The issue in itself is that, trying to get it to work with the builder, it would just be a whole lot of work. Now, who knows? In the future, I may just, do a deep dive and just get it all set up that way. But as of right now, it's just something that I don't see that I can do. And that's the main reason why I chose the Arch install script, because the Arch install script is pretty much set up to where I can edit everything and get it to work the way I want it to work. And Calamares is different. It's a whole nother set of configurations that I have to go through, and just to make it all work. I'm so deep in LinuxHub Prime right now that for me to make it work with Calamares, it would be a pain in the ass. Now, the installer itself, I can make the installer work. That's not a problem. It's with the builder. Trying to get it to work with the builder is a whole nother animal in itself. And if you're someone that understands code and writing code and things like that, you would kind of get an idea of what that means, because it's not something that can easily be done. Calamares, it's highly configurable. Don't get me wrong. You can do a lot with this, a whole lot. And I'm pretty sure I can do it. I could get it set up, but it would kind of be like I'm starting from scratch. And, I'm so far deep into LinuxHub Prime right now that for me to add Calamares to LinuxHub Prime, it would just bring a whole nother set of problems for me. And right now, as it is, I mean, working on LinuxHub Prime, it's a big task. It's not as easy as it seems to be. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's very time consuming. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of your time, and it's just a whole lot to do. And to get it set up with Calamares I would just be adding a whole nother layer of dictionary problems to my table, and it would just make everything just so much harder. And, it's just, why add extra work to myself when, it's already simple enough the way I got it set up. I mean, it's the Arch install script is just super easy. You know what I mean? So if you think that that's not a easy way to go, then I don't know what to tell you. But like I said before, I mean, Calamares is fine. There's nothing wrong with Calamares. Calamares works great. It works wonders. It takes all the hard work out for you. But to get it to work with LinuxHub Prime, it would just be a whole mountain of problems that I would have to work through to get it set up. Now, like I said, in the future, down the line, I may just go into it and get it all set up. But man, you're talking about weeks and months of work that I would have to go through. I mean, who knows? Maybe it won't be that hard, but it's just a lot of work as it is. You know what I mean? And when you work on something for so long, you know, you start to suffer from burnout. And once you start suffering from burnout, you know, that's when you start telling yourself you need to take a step back. And the way I got it right now with LinuxHub Prime, I got it set up to where I could just make changes on the fly and make it all easy. So adding Calamares to it would be a whole nother set of configurations that I have to deal with. And then setting up each desktop, the builder for each desktop, it's a mountain of problems that I would have to go through. Well, like I said before, it's not that it can't be done. It's just that I just don't want to go through it. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like I've already put myself through a lot with LinuxHub Prime as it is. So to give myself another set of problems, you know, it's like it's the old saying, you know, you're a glutton for pain. And I just don't want to add that to myself. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with the Calamares. Calamares is great. It gets the job done. It's perfect. You know what I mean? It's just that I'm not in the mood to go into another whole set of problems and figuring stuff out. I mean, as it is right now, I put out these updates and I'm asking for feedback and I'll get maybe 3-4 feedbacks and that's it. You know what I mean? It's like if I add Calamares to it and then ask for feedback, would I get any feedback? As it is, I'm barely getting feedback now as it is. So, you know, getting feedback is one of the main things that I need to make these things work. But if I'm not getting the feedback, then how am I going to fix it? You know, if I'm not getting the feedback on these issues, how am I going to fix them? You know what I mean? And then I get a lot of weird comments. People asking me about, I don't know, simple things that a lot of times I'm reading them and I'm like, what are you really asking? You know, if you're leaving a comment, try to be as specific as possible to try to explain what the problem is. You know, because just saying it don't work, you know, that's not a helpful comment. You know, that's why a lot of the Linux community have that reputation of telling people to go read the manual. Because they see comments like that and they be like, well, if you don't add enough info, then why don't you just go read the manual? You know what I mean? And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that type of person. I want to work through the problem, see if I can figure out the problem. If I can duplicate the problem, I'll answer. I'll tell you I duplicated the problem and then I'll move forward with that. So, yeah, who knows? Down the line, I may add the Calamares installer to the system. But like I said, I'm not ready to dive into that right now. It's just, I've been working on this for so long right now. Well, actually not that long, but it's a lot of work that's been going into it. And, believe it or not, I'm not really that much of a coder. You may think I am, but I'm not. I'm an average computer user I know how to make things work. I'm self-taught. I never went to school for this stuff or anything like that. I just figure out how something works and then I'll get into it. And so I'll figure out how things work and then I'll get into it. I'll look at the source code, see how things pan out, and then I'll take it from there. So a lot of my work is just copy and paste or just edit code that I already have, you know, sample codes and things like that. So don't think that I'm some type of a code guru behind the scenes and all that, because I am not. Believe me, I am not. Anyways, that's one of the main reasons why I don't have Calamares. And like I said, if I do add it in the future, then hey, it'll be there. But right now, you know, Arch installer is pretty good. It gets the job done. So I'll just stick with that. And another thing that I have planned for the beta 6 release is well, let me get out of this desktop. I was just using this for example. So I have the LinuxHub Prime ISO booted up right now, and pretty much this is the beta 5 release, so there's nothing special here. I just want to talk about one of the things that I'm going to be changing up for the beta 6 release. So let me just add this info here so we get to the next process. So right here on this window right here, when you get to this stage, right now, the way I have Arch install set up is I have it down at a minimum list right here. You can see right here. You can see right here the options are minimal the way I have Arch install set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some buttons right here to get this minimal script, or I'm going to also have an option for the full script. So you'll have all of the options for the Arch install script. So that way, if you want to change let's say the kernel, you want to change time zone, you want to change the program, you want to install different software, you'll be able to do that. So like I said, right now, the way I have LinuxHub Prime set up is where I have it just with these minimal options, just to try to make it easier on you. Cause I know, a lot of people, when they have to do things in the terminal, they get weary about it. So that's why I try to make this as minimal as possible. But I'm going to add the option for the full list for those that want to use other options that come with the Arch install script. So that'll be the changes that I'll be making to the beta 6 release, and I'll release that in a day or two. But other than that, pretty much unless I get some feedback and people tell me that there's something I need to take a look at, I need feedback. If you guys find a problem, just either go on the forum or just tell me in the comments below. Let me know what issues you have with LinuxHub Prime. Like right now, I'm getting, because I do a lot of overviews, I'm getting a lot of questions being asked about other systems that I'm just doing an overview on. And, I'll try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. But if it's not my system, people asking me, hey, can you fix this? Can you fix that on this system? And I'm like, that's not my system. You know what I mean? LinuxHub Prime is my system. If I can fix it on LinuxHub Prime, then yeah, that's not a problem. But I get a lot of comments of people telling me to fix stuff on other systems, and I'm like, that's not my system. I'm just doing an overview on it. You know what I mean? And another thing is, I get a lot of these so-called Linux gurus on there and telling me that about why didn't I look at this and why didn't I look at that, and that I skipped over certain options. In my original welcome video, I let everybody know that I do overviews looking at systems as if I was a new user myself, to get that new user feel. I'm not trying to get into the system and get all codey with it and all that. I'm just doing an overview. It's just a simple overview of the system. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing a deep dive. I'm not getting into the source code of the system and nothing like that. I'm just doing an overview so you can see what comes with the system, see what it looks like, see what programs it has, just simple things like that. I try to explain the panels and how to work themes and things like that. Just simple stuff that a new user wants to, from a new user perspective. If I can't make it more simple than that, then I don't know what it is. But I get some comments of people telling me that, oh, this, that, and you call this a review? Well, no, it's not a review. It's an overview. It's from a new user perspective. An overview from a new user perspective. That's all I do. Anyways, don't want to sound like a complainer here, but like I said, one of the key things that I really do need from you guys, though, is feedback. I need feedback on the system so I can make them, as best as possible. So the feedback really helps. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for this video, and I'm out.